Here's your news for December 16th, 2019 and WWE TLC results. We're kicking off today's video with news from WWE TLC as the final pay-per-view of the year ended with a bang. In the first ever women's tag team TLC match, the Kabuki Warriors defended their women's tag team titles against the Dream Team of Charlotte Flair and Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch, who brought their A-game to the champions. Though the Queen and the Man had plenty of offense, it was the tactics of the champions that helped them win the day, as when it seemed like Lynch was once again about to become Becky Two Belts, the pair pulled a rope connected to her ladder that sent the Man flying. The use of rope was a constant theme in the match, as at one point Lynch was tied to a ladder by the champs, and ultimately it was Asuka who retrieved the titles, winning the main event of the December pay-per-view for the second year in a row. Interestingly, it was also Asuka that started 2019 by beating Lynch to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view in January, as it seems that the Empress of Tables, Ladders, and Chairs is the one foe the Man just can't beat. Though the Man was unable to defeat Asuka again on pay-per-view, this victory for Asuka and Kairi Sane could lead to either woman getting a shot at the Raw Women's Champion, and with reports of Asuka being the latest opponent for Lynch, time will tell whether the Japanese star is the one to end Lynch's record-breaking title reign. It wasn't just the women who got involved in TLC action, as King Corbin also got the surprise victory over Roman Reigns in the show's other Tables, Ladders, and Chairs match. Given the actions of our King, it should come as no surprise that Corbin's victory was far from honest, as the self-professed lone wolf got a lot of help from his fellow heels. With interference from the Revival and Dolph Ziggler, the numbers game proved to be too much even for Reigns, who gave a valiant effort against his multiple enemies. Since returning from his battle with leukemia, the WWE has pulled its punches in making Reigns the top star again, with the former Universal and WWE champion not even receiving a world title match since revealing he was in remission in February. We can't exactly blame WWE for holding back on another big Reigns push, as this lack of drive has presumably happened to avoid the backlash he received in 2014 and 2015. Losing to Corbin last night comes just a handful of months after the Big Dog lost to Eric Rowan on pay-per-view in a similar fashion, and after this defeat to the 2019 King of the Ring, we can't help but wonder what the company has planned for the Big Dog in the coming year. That answer may have already been answered though, as backstage, the King was quick to gloat about his victory over one of WWE's top stars. As Reigns spotted this, it didn't take long for a brawl backstage to ensue, and though Corbin once again had Ziggler and the Revival by his side, Roman was joined by The New Day, Shorty G, and Mustafa Ali. With this brawl, it doesn't look like the storyline between Reigns and Corbin is over just yet, as more and more SmackDown superstars are ready to enter the front lines in this war between the King and the Big Dog. In tables action, Bobby Lashley and Rusev hope to end their rivalry for good, as the pair have been feuding for months over the affection of Lana. Leaving the Bulgarian brute for the Destroyer, Lana hasn't shied away from being a factor in their matches, and after stopping her now ex-husband from getting his vengeance, it seems this storyline isn't over just yet. One person who folks thought would be watching closely is CM Punk, as the Best in the World did his own armchair booking during his latest appearance on WWE Backstage. When the WWE on Fox Twitter account posted that Punk will be watching intensely, Punk replied with a pic of him watching hockey instead. Though Punk wasn't watching, millions of fans around the world were, and presumably let out a collective groan, as this soap opera storyline doesn't appear to be over. While the WWE Championship may be AWOL for the time being thanks to Brock Lesnar, the Universal Champion was at TLC as Bray Wyatt took on The Miz in a non-title match. Walking down to the ring in a very jovial entrance, this was the first match since Wyatt's return that hasn't seen The Fiend appear, as it instead was the sweater-rocking superstar who took on the A-lister. Though the title wasn't on the line, that didn't stop The Miz from releasing a flurry of assault on the Eater of Worlds, following Wyatt's most recent mind games that have seen the Universal Champion target Miz and Maurice's infant daughter, Monroe Sky. All this fire, though, wasn't enough to topple Wyatt, who got the win over the A-lister, though it was what happened after the match that got fans talking around the world. According to reports, the reason the match wasn't for the Universal title is that the contest was just a placeholder that was used to prolong Wyatt's feud with Daniel Bryan, and the Yes Man returned after the Eater of Worlds had defeated The Miz. Returning with a new look, complete with shorter hair and trimmed beard, Bryan is unquestionably a fully fledged face once again, and after being last seen dragged under the ring and having his hair pulled out by Wyatt, wasted no time in attacking the vessel for the demonic fiend. And fans should expect these two to continue their feud next month at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Both the SmackDown and Raw Tag Team Championships were also on the line during the show as the Viking Raiders issued an open challenge for the red titles. This open challenge was ultimately answered by none other than Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, as the Good Brothers hoped to capture the titles once again after joining WWE in 2016. That wasn't the case, however, as the match ended in a double countout, meaning the titles remain with Eric and Ivar. In a truly weird moment that could only happen in WWE, the Raiders were able to slam Carl Anderson through a table placed at ringside, and while that doesn't seem too weird, this table was actually covered in KFC. As fans quickly ran with their buckets of the Colonel's delicious chicken, Anderson was slammed into the 11 herbs and spices, and while the OC may not have picked up the win on this occasion, the double countout finish does mean that a rematch could happen in the not-so-distant future. On the SmackDown side of things, the New Day took on the Revival in a ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Despite rumors of the Revival being a backup team after Robert Roode's suspension put him and Dolph Ziggler out of contention, Dash and Dawson wasted no time in stealing the show alongside Kofi and Big E. Though the match had plenty of ladder action throughout, it wasn't all perfect, as in one instance, Big E opted not to climb the ladder when the other three men were down. By the time Big E was on the ladder, though, he delivered in a major way, delivering a big ending from several feet in the air, though it was Kingston who was the real star of the match. Unsurprisingly, the former WWE Champion's high-flying antics led to some great spots during the match, and with the crowd firmly chanting his name, Kofi was able to get the win for his team by retrieving the titles. 2019 has been a strange year for Kofi, who finally captured the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, only to lose it in seconds to Brock Lesnar in October. But at least this show gave fans a familiar sight, Kingston standing tall with a championship in his hands. Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy finally got their one-on-one match after weeks of build, as the self-professed best-kept secret looked to topple the demonic Dutchman. Despite the former Cruiserweight champion holding his own against Black, it was the former NXT champ who got the victory, finally silencing Murphy, who has spent the last few weeks accusing Black of running scared. The kickoff show also saw Humberto Carrillo's push continue with a victory over Andrade, but as two of Monday Night Raw's most unique mid-carders both battling for that push to the next level, we doubt that this is the last time these two will compete. On the whole, WWE TLC was a decent show and was particularly impressive when you remember that the event didn't have any matches announced until a week before the show happened. It's hard to say just how the WWE will go from here, as some matches seemed like the end of their feuds, while others seemed like just the beginning. But with the next pay-per-view being the 2020 Royal Rumble event, all we know for certain is that the road to WrestleMania 36 is about to begin. Though WWE tables, ladders, and chairs dominated the wrestling world last night, the pay-per-view wasn't the only thing in the news. One superstar fans didn't see at the pay-per-view was Sin Cara, as it's been just over a week since the Masked Marvel was released, though Cara hasn't exactly been idle since being given the pink slip. Instead, Cara made a very surprising appearance this past weekend at a AAA event, and that didn't sit well with Vince McMahon or his company. According to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, AAA didn't have any kind of deal worked out with WWE to allow them to use the Sin Cara name, which could leave both the ex-superstar and the Lucha promotion open to a lawsuit. Meltzer wrote, "Regarding Sin Cara using that name in AAA last night at Guerrera de Titanes, there was no deal worked out with him or the WWE to be allowed to use the name. He was on a 90-day no-compete clause. We'll see how this transpires." This is a very interesting situation for everyone involved, as while the WWE may not actually make much money if they choose to press litigation against the masked superstar, not doing so could open the door for repeat situations like this in the future. And with the ever-present rise of AEW and superstars trying to get out of their contracts, WWE will no doubt be taking all potential departures very seriously. Another superstar who hasn't wrestled in WWE for a while but is still there is Samoa Joe, who has likewise kept himself busy as he heals a thumb injury. To keep him on TV, Joe has been moved to the Raw commentary team, replacing Dio Madden, who has chosen to return to wrestling, and the former US champion will remain there until he is 100%. With the tone of his voice as well as his submission background, some fans have compared Joe to Taz, who was on commentary in WWE for years, and it seems that SmackDown announcer Corey Graves also sees this similarity. On Twitter, the savior of misbehavior shared a picture of Joe and Vic Joseph with a caption that said how the pair were a new and improved Taz and Michael Cole. This post quickly found its way to Taz himself, and though the human suplex machine wished both Joseph and Joe the best of luck, he thought the comparison wasn't fair. In his reply, Taz said how if Vic and Joe are still a duo after years of calling shows together, then it'll be a fair comparison, before ending his post by saying he and Cole battled for every opportunity as a team. Regarded by many as the greatest announced team in the history of SmackDown, it's no wonder why Taz says being compared to the brand new team isn't fair, and fans will just have to wait to see if Joseph and the former NXT champion are still together on the Raw announced team 8 years from now to see if they really are the next Michael Cole and Taz. And finally today we're ending with some sad news, as former WWF talent Randy Colley has died at the age of 69. Colley, who some may remember from his work as Moondog Rex, was a part of many angles during his wrestling career and was the original Smash in Demolition before the role was given to Barry Darsow. Leaving the WWF in 1987, Colley would have greater success outside the company, joining WCW in 1990 and in March the next year forming the stable of the Desperados alongside Dutch Mantell and Black Bart. Portrayed as 3 bumbling cowboys who wanted to meet Stan Hansen, the legit tough guy wanted nothing to do with the angle and would instead leave WCW to wrestle in Japan, never again competing in North America. Despite this setback, Colley found success and championship gold wherever he went, holding tag titles in the USWA, Georgia Championship Wrestling, the World Wrestling Council, and even the WWF. At the time of this video, the reasons behind Colley's death are unknown, but we here at Slatrock would like to send our very best wishes and deepest condolences to Colley's family, friends, and fans at this awful time.